All right, what's good, everybody? This your boy Hood, man. I'm right at y'all head again. Early morning status. Welcome back to the channel. How you doing? What's good? Yo, like and subscribe, all that good shit. And it's kind of weird when you're talking online like this every day, trying to get used to the internet. It's a lot of people that got this shit down packed, and I'm used to just talking, but not necessarily in front of people. So all y'all gotta bear with me and get to know me and fuck with me over time, and I guess we'll have a dope ass relationship. What's going on with Lil Durk? And that's what I want to talk about. Somebody said something about talking this kind of stuff online is gossiping. And I was laughing to myself when I heard that because I was like, it's only white people that could talk about stuff and they looked upon as news or newsworthy or newsy. If anybody else talk about stuff in the hip hop culture, you got to be trying to be disrespectful or not really on your game. And it's like, if you white, then it's news. You can take that shit and tell your mama about it. But if it's a black person, then it's like, oh, wait a minute, they must be hating. And I was like, stop with the bullshit. News and information is out there in the world. It's opinions. The whole world is full of them. The whole world got one, just like an asshole. So that's what the fuck we're going to do. We're going to talk about the shit that's happening in the world. And that's opinionated, so it don't matter what the fuck we think. But it's our opinion. And so the situation that I've gathered about that young dude is that he's trying to get a bond or trying to even get his case thrown all the way out. And it makes sense because the lawyers on the other side, the prosecution, the feds, they basically did something foul when they filed a case on him, and they used lyrics that they assumed was his lyrics uh, regarding the death of that young dude in L.A. And actually, it wasn't. He made these songs prior to that murder. I think the guy's name was Young Pab or something like that. He's a youngster. He got murdered. Rest in peace to him and everybody about that little case and scenario. But they arrested the other guys associated with the murder from their video camera. You remember the whole case went down and obviously connected it to Dirk. So they're trying to say that they got him locked up on the fact, which they went to a grand jury. And when you go to a grand jury, you're supposed to present the information that you also are going to subsequently present during the trial. So the grand jury gave this case from their hearing and information that they heard that it was okay to prosecute Dirk on this particular situation. But now that we're going down the lane and you have to give up discovery, you got to give up information about what you got and how you gathered it and who the people that gave you this information. And they figure out that the information that they got from Dirk lawyer was basically some internet motherfuckers, and they put some shit up. They put a song together and added little voices on it, and that's how the song got made. But obviously, the feds don't know that. They just heard it, and maybe even some people from online heard it and say, "Hey, Dirk did this." He's fucking publicizing the fact that he was a part of a murder for hire. So the Caucasians jump right into gear and they go arrest him. But he's actually getting ready to leave town, leave the country. So they looking at it as he's trying to escape this crime, and so they grab him. And this is all like them kind of thinking ahead. You know what I'm saying? They figuring this out. They don't know if it's actually like that, but they got the data law, so they could just grab you and present this at a later time. So he's been in jail for a few months now. So now the conversation is, obviously it's your right to be talking to your accuser and figure out what the fuck they talking about. So he go in there and say, where the fuck did y'all get this information from and how the fuck could you do it? Well, they come in there bumbling idiot style. And they like, yeah, we got this from this motherfucker online and this motherfucking website. And Dirk like, and his lawyers like, I don't know these fucking people. They on the internet. They could put anything fucking up what they want to make. They can make any goddamn thing they want to make and post it. Obviously, the feds go talk to the kids and they like, we don't know that motherfucker. We posted this shit on our own. They even go talk to the producer who actually made the song, and he said, "Shit, we made that 9 months before that kid even got murdered." And here's the verse that Dirk made. Obviously, none of that stuff's on there, and it's basically like a voice that they have from the news where the kid was screaming. I think the other boy who survived, Quando Rondo, he was screaming at the moment that his cousin Lil Pap died in Beverly Hills that day, and with the police all around. So somebody took that voice and added it to the song Dirk made. Blah blah blah. So they used that to get his prosecution going with the grand jury, which is false because he didn't make the song. So basically, you have a faulty case because you can't prosecute that. He didn't make the song. All these people proved that he didn't make the song. That's not nothing to stand on. So his lawyers go back in there and say, let him out of jail. This is not even a fucking case. If they presented this to the grand jury, we're going to fucking beat this because these people obviously made the music and he can't control what other humans do in the internet world. So make a long story short, well, the prosecution go in there and they say, yo, okay, maybe we made a mistake. But see, you can't do that. You really can't do that. If you prosecute a person, you have to keep that prosecutorial idea that you move forward with. You can't really introduce new thoughts and new positions. You can do that, but it's going to be illegal. And if you got real lawyers, they're going to call that shit out. So basically, they saying, well, yeah, we probably didn't get that right. Maybe we got the lyrics wrong. Maybe, okay, we understanding that that probably wasn't right. But look, this motherfucker was trying to leave the country when he heard that his homies got murdered, and this motherfucker probably got other murders regarding his brother who passed away years ago. Rest in peace to that youngster too. And maybe that is the reason why that we got him in this situation, because he could just go pay for murders, and he said he was going to pay for murders. He got lyrics and other songs right here. He got lyrics and other songs right here where he said he was going to do this stuff. And maybe that time he said he was going to do this murder, and it was he made the song prior. Maybe he knew that something was going to happen or something like that, and we put that out there. All of that's what you call jumble. It's not going to be able to stick if you got real lawyers and you're a fucking millionaire. None of that shit's going to stick. And here's why. You came at us saying that the lyrics was the reason. Now you're saying that the lyrics is not the reason. So now you're saying you're going to introduce something else, which was not introduced at the time of the grand jury, which is the possibility of him having murders for some other situation that possibly could have happened. You need to figure out, or was he involved in this? Did he say something to these people and then they went and did something? That's not even up on a platform right now. The platform was about leaving the country. The platform was about those rap records and the fact that he might have had something to do with giving those kids his credit cards to go make a crime happen out of town. And so when they got arrested, he supposedly had left. It's all circumstantial. It's not necessarily concrete. It's the circumstances. If all this stuff, they're basically saying, well, if all of this add up, then this would it look like. But that can't really get you in jail for prison forever unless they railroad you, which we know that they can do. So he goes and says, y'all supposed to let me out of here and throw this case out. It's not legit because none of this stuff happened. You can't prove that I was running from a fucking crime. They said he was trying to book flights to 5 different countries. And the reality of it is, from his lawyer's perspective, his lawyer factually said that all the flights was like stop off flights. So you leave America, you stop off in this country, you land in Dubai. So it's going to stop in 2 or 3 different countries on the way to your final destination. And it's the same flight. So how are you booking a couple of flights or different flights when all these flights take you to the same ultimate destination? So that's going to be thrown out because that's proof that he had nothing to do with the fact of getting all these flights to some a country where you won't be extradited. So all that shit's gonna be thrown out too. It gotta be because they don't have to be because they could just it's the government. They can railroad past that. Ain't nothing you can really do. But you got lawyers and you're supposed to prove a case. And then what can happen is that they'll railroad you into actually going down for this and just convict you, and then you got to fight to get the what they call that shit, retrials or whatever, appeals. That's what it's called. So that's what's happening with him, and so he actually is trying to get them to throw the case out. So they're saying no, we're not throwing the case out because this guy could still pay for murders. He still might have connections to other people who, when he get out, that's a sign of saying, yeah, it's time for you to go do what I asked you to do. And all that's again just speculation. It's like you're a threat to society, kind of. Look, the fact that you even connected to something like this, and then look at the lyrics and the words. See, and let's talk about that for a minute. The words that the young brother put into his rhymes is bad because you're talking to the actually world, the World Wide Web. Everybody in the world get to hear this music. Even the prosecutors, even their children, even them grandmamas, little kids, daughters, babies, it's music. So it plays out and may be metaphorical to people or maybe deep like decoding to understand, but then some people could catch it right away. It's English words. Some people might not have to go so deep and be like, "What the hell do that mean? What's the op? I don't understand what that." Some people might could catch that, and so now you really just kind of confessing your world to people, and then people get to sit up and put these little fake cases together. So like he had made a statement and like recently saying that on his website, I think through his wife, saying that this is racism and they trying to use his lyrics against him, and music is really for the public and it's for the people, and it's not negative, and it's just art. But again, it's prosecutorial people out there who could set up a case against you and railroad you into jail. And then after something like that happened with some guys who so associated with you or knew you in some kind of component within the last 2 or 3 years of their own lives, they personally knew you or was connected to you, they go out and do a murder, and it seemed like you texted them prior to such moment saying, yo, don't put nothing in my name. That don't mean he was meaning talking about that, but it does mean that you know them, like you have some kind of connection to them, and that's the conspiracy. Because even though you might not have did their crime or even knew they was going to do a crime, you in cahoots with them. You know them. You kind of know about their world. You don't know what they're going to do or when they're going to do it, but the cell phone shows that you in communication with them. And then the fact that they use your credit card to do such a crime, are they trying to set you up? What the fuck would somebody do that for? But again, maybe they did it because you told them it's okay to do it. So it's this whole back and forth that they're gonna have to go through. And to add insult to injury, they got a video going around with Lil Durk wife with her hand on some guy's leg at a party. Maybe it's her cousin. Maybe it's a family member. But it's kind of skeptical to be like, what the fuck? I mean, you think about it. You sitting in jail. What the fuck? You even at a party for a period? Like, this is not a time for having fun. But obviously, she young and she's a pretty girl. She's not doing nothing wrong in her opinion. So she go out. Obviously, the dude gonna get up on her. She look good. And he just posted over there by smoking a hookah and then, maybe trying to dig his conversation into her brain. Meanwhile, Durk in the goddamn jail with a mask on, sitting in there trying to eat whack food and just, hearing the sounds of everybody in the damn jail. And there's no way out until they get to this trial. And they pushed this trial back to like January. We're not even in June yet. This ain't even a summer. And he got to wait in there till January just to go to trial. I mean, that's a long ass time. So you talking about 8 months from today just to sit in there and go to trial. So it's like a long journey that he put himself in with this scenario. But again, your lyrics, and I remember when I was young, because I'm a damn near half that brother's age, So when I was young, we used to listen to a rapper named Tupac. You might have heard him. You might have heard of him when y'all, I don't know how old you are, but when we was young, there was a rapper named Tupac, and he was cold. He was amazing. It was almost like, damn, you hear what he said? Oh my God, this dude is so fucking amazing. Like the words, metaphorically, what he was saying in the rhymes, it was so cold. We just loved him. And he had came out when he was like 16. So, we was young at that time too. So we was just like really enamored by the fact that it was a 15, 16-year-old rapper that was going to come out one day. So it took a few more years for him to actually drop an album. But we was waiting. I think like 4 years had went by. And then this rapper had came back and we was all like, yes. I think he was 21 by that time or 20 because we and him like the same age. And make a long story short, when it dropped, we was loving it. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting him mixed up with Nas. He didn't drop nothing early. Tupac had only came out with his first album, which is, and he had like a song with Digital Underground, but that didn't make us give a shit. It was his album that came out called Tupacalypse. I'm thinking about when Nas dropped, because Nas had a song out when he was a kid first, and then he came out when we was about 20. But exactly, Tupac, when he dropped his album, we was just so in love with the album, and it's something in 1992, and it was like called Tupacalypse, and I was like 19, 20 years old, just loving that shit. But I remember in Tupac songs, I remember specifically in Tupac songs, he always kept talking about death. He always talked about death, like he had death around the corner. How long will they mourn me? And just so many songs that was leading to death, or what do you do about death, or what if he died? And it was kind of crazy, because we listening to his songs, and it's like, I love this nigga, but damn, he back on it again. Like, he always talking about death. So by the time 23 more years go by, he's murdered. Literally, I'm not kidding you. So 92, and then he died in 96. That was it. So it was like, but you remember, now obviously his music carried on in our brains. All he talked about was death. Even Biggie, I think Biggie, by the time the 90s came, mid 90s, he had a Ready to Die, I think was one of his albums. And then the other one was like, well, his song was like, you niggas breathe just like us. Man, that album was just like to me, it was a morbid album. I couldn't even fucking listen to it. It was a double album. And he had some dope songs on there, but he just talked so much about death. It was like, what the fuck is wrong with Pac and Biggie, man? And then they all died. So imagine this, you 24 or 25, and your rappers that you fucking love, like y'all probably like rappers today, love these niggas. They gone. So now you fast forward into your future, and you hear young rappers talking about their worlds, whatever their role is. Like, I don't know, whatever their role is. Ops and shit, and what the fuck they call it? Like what Durk talk about, murdering somebody, or, getting back, revenge on somebody. It's really just conversational rap. It's like really intriguing. But if you listen to the words, it'd be like, damn, why are you talking like that? What, I'm going to the feds, or I might die in the feds, whatever they say. You know what I mean? I'm not really a fan, but I hear it sparingly. I hear it a little bit. And then, but these are their lyrics. So now you even hearing their lyrics, and you thinking back to your youth saying, damn, this nigga talking like Pac and them, but he not saying what they were saying, but he's saying his life, and his life is this. It's not necessarily I'm gonna die, but it's like I might spend the time in the feds, or I might have to make revenge on my op. That don't mean he's trying to be like that, but that's his world. So then you go to somebody like Lil Wayne. Well, he's younger than me, but I remember his trajectory in life, and as he started getting bigger and better in the music, he always talked about money and talked about getting rich and 10 bathrooms. I could shit all day. And then you look at his lifestyle. He's fucking rich as hell. Got dumbass money living. He got a skateboard fucking thing inside his house. So that show, even Mayweather, he called himself Money Mayweather. You understand what I'm saying? Or 50 Cent, get rich or die trying. You understand what I'm saying? So not to say that those words are becoming who you are, but it's almost like you're telling the world who you are, and you're almost attracting the things that you're saying out in your rhymes to you. I don't know if that's exactly it or if it's just how God made your life turn out. But it seemed like that's what, when I was young, that's what I thought about Biggie and Tupac. So you talk about, I'm not going to talk about all the rappers from that time frame, but then you stretch it to my future life today, and you hear the little rapper, Lil Durk rapping, and then all of a sudden he's about to get locked up for his rhymes. It's like, damn. Then you hear his rhymes, and that's all he talk about is might go to the feds one day. His dad was in the feds. So this is what he knows. This is his background of college of psychology. This is what he knows. And then that prophecy comes to life. Now he's sitting in the feds, and might be one of the worst times of his life to be dealing with a fucking crime like this, because they might not let you out that motherfucker. They might hold you down in this motherfucker until you an old ass man, and you sitting around like, what the fuck happened? I just want to go home. And it's like, nah, ain't no going home. You in this bitch. So you a gangster, you tough, well, you made it. And now it's like, it was a rhyme. I'm really just a black person just talking about black power. And they like, yeah, I hurt you, but too bad. Because we got space for you in this bitch, and we don't let go, and we don't give a shit if we prosecute you correctly or if we just bumble through this, as long as you get your ass off the streets. And so now you want to get clarity. Now you got more clarity. Like, you didn't get Tupac and them didn't have a chance to get clarity. When those moments happened, they died. But today the young brother get to go to prison, and he's sitting in there, and it's like, whoa, you know what? I'm gonna change my whole my whole direction in this music shit. Fuck talking about death. Let's talk about God. Let's talk about whatever it is that's different to me today, like my lifestyle today, not what it was when I was growing up in the hood back in the day. So it's just really something to think about, man. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully he will beat this. Hopefully he'll get up out of there and get back to his life. I'm sure it's crazy having $1 million in the bank and you can't even spend it on shit. Or you gotta basically divvy it up to the guys in the damn deck with you, so you safe and they safe and there's no drama. But you got the money. It ain't like it's gonna cost you no whole lot of money. $10,000 probably lasts you 3 years in the jail. You know what I'm saying? Because you got money. But it is what it is. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. I appreciate y'all liking and subscribing and watching. So make sure you share it too. And peace.